Good morning, Brooklyn Squad. What's up, everybody? I know it's early. Well, it's not that early, but your girl is here. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Brooklyn Squad, real life drama, real life crimes. Y'all know what it is. It is 10 a.m. and y'all know I am not usually here this morning, this early, but today is different. Today is very, very different. And I just want to say, first of all, I want to say thank you, Lord, for waking me up this morning. Okay? Because a lot of us don't get that opportunity, right? So I want to say thank you, God, for waking me up this morning. Good morning, Kathy B. Good morning, Shay Shay. Good morning, Anita. Good morning, Miss Jennifer. Good morning, beautiful. Yes, welcome to Brooklyn Squad Real Life Drama. Well, over here, we talk about real life crimes, right? We talk about real life crimes. We expose a lot of shit that needs to be exposed because we know there's a lot of cover up, right? And we don't pull back no punches. Like we keep it 100. Y'all know with me, I keep it 100 with y'all. I've been doing it. That's just who I am, and ain't nothing gonna change with that. Okay. So I want to say, if you new, welcome. We've been expecting you. So buckle up, put your guard armor on, subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, and if you in the back and you just creeping and peeking, it's okay. Welcome. I've been expecting you too. Voices for Vanish. Good morning, Mamita. Thank you for joining. So today is a special day, like every day is a special day when you come into Brooklyn Squad, real life drama, real life crimes, right? I have been talking about, and I also want to say, I do have my Cash App and PayPal, which is right there where my cute little face is. So if you would like to donate, no pressure. Y'all know who I am. If you want to donate to the channel, you're welcome to. Please give what you can, but don't give your last. I don't need your baby kids talking about my mama gave me my lunch money. Okay? I don't want to be fighting no 5 years old kids now. You know what I'm saying? Okay now. But I'm just saying. So y'all know how it is. Y'all know my PayPal account and stuff like that. So if y'all want to donate, fine. If you don't, just show up, show love, and y'all know what it is. So this is on both my channels. And it's on Facebook right now. So we're streaming on both my channels and on Facebook and Twitter. And then after this, please post this video and I'm going to be putting it on TikTok and everywhere else. I've been talking about this young man since I first heard about it, right? Since I first heard about it. And when I first heard about it, I was getting ready for school and something hit me up in my private message and I was like, what's this? And it caught my eye because a whole bunch of stuff was up there. I mean, I had parents send me stuff, but I have never had a parent send me stuff without me asking for stuff. And when I don't ask for stuff and you just send it to me, that was the first time that a parent sent me stuff without me asking for anything. And that showed me like, oh, she's eager. Oh, she wants, she needs, and she wants this. I mean, all parents want this. Don't get me twisted. But I didn't ask her for any documents at all. But mind you, I'm getting ready for class and a whole bunch of audio, video, a whole bunch of stuff pops up. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? Who is this? I didn't know anything. And that got me interested to see what's going on here. And when I seen that, I was like, oh, corruption. Foul corruption. Like we talk about all the time. Right? So I looked into it like I do with any other case. I just don't jump on. I look into stuff. And when I saw and what I heard, it bothered my soul. And I called her and we spoke for a very long time. And I found out some more things. And then I did a video and another video. Now she's going to come on, Terron Evans' mother, and she's going to tell you right now what happened to her son. But it's just more than that, right? Because this case gets deeper, way deeper than we actually know about. And I'm going to let her explain. So I'm going to drop the link down and I'm going to let her come up. Oops. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to. Yeah, man, why I keep always doing that? Trying to put the link down below. And I always mess up. Like, I don't know why every time on this damn laptop, I get like that. All right, there we go. So, Miss Jennifer, can you please hit that link right there? And come on up. I got my coffee here, y'all. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and don't forget to share this video because there's going to be a lot of details, I believe, that a lot of y'all don't know, because I know that people are saying like a lot of her videos, they don't understand it. They need details. They need to know what's going on. And today you're going to find out what's going on. All right, let me put my coffee. Let me put my coffee right there, matter of fact. Let me hit this. Good morning, pretty lady.
Good morning. How are you?
Hi. Good
Hello.
morning. So pretty.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Your audio is good too. Damn, sound like you're on a microphone.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of in the bathroom. Sorry. I
No,
have
you
company, so
good.
I'm in the bathroom.
Yeah, your lighting is better than mine. And I
Yeah.
got 1, 2, 3, 4 lights, and your lighting is way better than mine. All right.
I appreciate the invite and your help and support. I want to say
Yeah.
first.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you.
definitely. I appreciate you coming on because that's one thing I like to do when I put a story out. I rather for the people to hear it from the parents
Right.
because y'all best can tell it than we can. We could just give what we know and just do the best that we can. But the details, the other little, you know what I mean? Like you guys can explain it much better than we
Right.
can. And I think it's important for the parents to come up and just tell exactly what happened. And that's what we want to hear, from you. I do want to say, I am so, so sorry what you're going through.
Thank you.
Um, no parent should have to go. I couldn't even imagine. I have children too, you know, and it scares me every day. And you were very close to your son.
Yes.
You know, I'm
Yeah,
not even.
I got a few pictures back here.
Yeah. Aw. Oh, that's him when he was little.
Yeah.
He's handsome too.
Yeah, my
Oh,
baby.
and y'all look just alike.
Thank you.
Got his picture like in back of us right here. I don't know if you could see it, but
Yeah, yeah. That
okay.
was when he first came to Potsdam.
Okay. So where are y'all from?
Originally, we're from Syracuse, New York.
Okay.
Yeah, he was born and
Mhm.
raised in Syracuse.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. So you're like a few hours from me right now. I'm from Brooklyn, but I live upstate New York right now, so a few hours.
Okay.
When did you move to Potsdam? I never heard of Potsdam until we talked. And then
Um,
I saw that video that you sent me about Potsdam, and I was like, ooh. So when did you move there?
so I moved to Potsdam. Well, let me just rewind a little bit how I knew about Potsdam.
Okay, yes.
So, my foster mother actually was from Potsdam, New York, and every summer we would go up there for the summer. So that's how I got familiar with Potsdam, New York. And by the time I aged out of foster care, my mom was like, "Well, you want to move up to Potsdam?" And I was like, "No, no." So I stayed in Syracuse, and it was probably 2011 is when I first moved to Potsdam.
Okay, 2011.
Yeah,
Okay. So you was like, I ain't moving up there yet though, but
right. And by the time I had moved up there, I was raising my grandkids, and I had my youngest son also. So I was like, okay, we got to get out of the city. You know, I'll try Potsdam now, and I did.
what made you move there? Just wanted something different?
Yeah, you just get everybody out of the city, and
Got you.
thinking things would be better up there.
Got you. Now, a lot of people probably don't know about Potsdam. Can you tell us a little bit about that? About what?
So Potsdam is a very small town. It's a town and a village. Um, it's about 97% white. The only
Mm,
diversity there really what brings the diversity is the colleges. There's a lot of colleges up there in St. Lawrence County, and that's what brings the diversity. Um, it's
okay.
a beautiful place, to live as far as the scenery and all that beautiful stuff out there. But
Right.
um, you know, people can make a place feel very unsafe and
Mm.
not good to live in. But
Now,
I mean, there. I'm not going to say that everybody there, is racist. There were some beautiful people that I do miss, but when you know that people in positions of power
mm,
um, are the main ones causing the havoc.
running things. When you moved, wow, it's a shame. Um, so what happened when you moved out there? Cause you're black, you're activist, right? You're Black Lives Matter activist.
Right. So when I first moved out there, I well, first I noticed signs that said "Justice for Garrett Phillips" and all over the place. And I asked around about it. A lot of people had their opinions that Nick Hillary was guilty, or that Deputy Sheriff John Jones was guilty, or there were people who were afraid to talk about Garrett's case. Like you could see the fear in their face, their bodies trembling, like literally were scared to talk about it. So at that time, I wasn't very vocal in the community, about going after the police and stuff. but I had already been having protests in regards to school shootings and women's rights and all other different things. Nothing that ever pointed or targeted the police.
Right.
Okay. And one specific officer, Lieutenant Michael Ames from the Potsdam Police Department, was my go to person for all the events, even prior to Black Lives Matter. Okay.
Hmm.
So that's how I got tied in with Lieutenant Michael Ames, was through my protests and stuff prior to BLM.
Can you just go back and tell us about that other case? Like, who's
Okay.
Garrett and
Yes. So Garrett Phillips is a little boy who was murdered on October 24th, 2011 in Potsdam, New York. Um, he's a little white boy. His mother had just previously broken up with a black man by the name of Nick Hillary. And just prior to Nick Hillary, Garrett's mom had broke up with Deputy Sheriff John Jones from St. Lawrence County Sheriff's Department. Um, so immediately, like even before Garrett actually passed away in the hospital, they already pretty much was going after Nick Hillary. Um, and
who was black?
yes, Nick Hillary was a soccer coach at Clarkson University. He, he
TV.
was a military vet. He's from Jamaica. Um, he was doing really, really good. He was prior to being a soccer coach, he graduated from St. Lawrence University up there and then became a coach, at Clarkson. But he lost all that like really fast, like almost within days probably, of them saying his name and tying him to Garrett's murder.
That
Um,
was on Dateline or something like that,
oh
right?
yeah, it was.
The ID channel.
It's all over, all over. It went national very quickly.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember
Um,
seeing that. When you said
so
soccer coach and stuff like that, that was on the ID channel. I remember seeing that.
yeah, yeah. It was bad the way they treated Nick Hillary. Um, the DA at the time, she wouldn't do anything because there was absolutely nothing that tied Nick Hillary to Garrett's murder. So at that time, though, it was uh, time to vote in another, DA or keep the current one. And a woman named Mary Rain was running for district attorney at the time. And she pretty much used Garrett's case um, as a political thing for her. And she won. And she went right after Nick Hillary. Um, the first indictment, I believe, was thrown out because of some misconduct. The second one also, he was found not guilty, but she was barred for 2 years because of her misconduct in the case, including the Brady Law. There was a statement by someone who said that he saw Deputy Sheriff John Jones going into the building of Garrett Phillips around the time of the murder, but they basically, the DA at the time, she didn't give that to anybody, that information.
Wow.
So, and she was actually titled the most dangerous district attorney in New York State.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
So that case remains unsolved, open, and what they call ongoing, but has went absolutely nowhere.
is he still charged?
Nick Hillary?
Yeah.
No, he's been found not guilty, and
Oh,
that was, I believe, in 2016. I want to say. It took a long time, from 2011 to 2016. This man, his family, and many others were taken through the ringer
I thought he
completely.
was still locked up. Oh, so he was found not guilty. Good. Okay.
Right.
So
But the
that's why
day,
you was trying to get you. Got you. To,
right,
okay.
the day that he was found not guilty, that district attorney at that time, she did a press conference and she said that she was closing the case because she was 101% sure that Nick Hillary was the guy and she wasn't going to look for anybody else.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah. And at that time, all the signs came down from all over. People just started taking signs down, and it was like, okay, either we believe Nick Hillary did this or we believe he didn't, but we'll never get justice because possibly Deputy Sheriff John Jones, you know, may have
Mm,
had
mm,
something to do
mm.
with this.
Wow,
Yeah,
unbelievable. So you was going hard for this little boy.
yeah, and for Nick Hillary, because of the
Right.
way the police treated him. They stripped him naked right there in the police station office. Yeah, and sent him home in a hazmat suit. Um, he asked at one point, could he leave? And they told him, yeah. And when he got up to go for the door, one of the cops stood in front of the door and told him he wasn't going anywhere until after they got a warrant signed and strip searched him. Yeah, so it was horrible. So
Jesus.
when I did start Black Lives Matter in June 2020, that's the first thing, that I
Right.
vocally started talking about. But I do have to rewind because in October 2019, sorry, my notifications are blocking. In October 2019, I had emailed, or excuse me, Facebook messaged Lieutenant Michael Ames from the Potsdam Police Department and told him that I was organizing a march and protest for two kids there in that area. And one of them was for Garrett Phillips.
Mm.
Um, and, I said, I pray nothing happens to me or my family, but I know that people in your department are not going to like this, and explain to him, the community, we need answers, blah, blah, blah. So he said, why don't you come into the office and speak with me and Police Chief Mark Murray, who is the police chief now, but was the lead investigator on Garrett's case back then. So I go in and I'm not invited into the office. Um, Michael Ames comes out and speaks to me in the lobby. He says that the police chief, Mark Murray, is not available again. And, he proceeds to tell me that that's not how he wanted to spend his Saturday, answering questions from the community about this little boy.
That's a shame.
So, yeah. So at that point, I was like, okay, this is even more serious than I thought, you know. And I started a petition seeking truth and justice for Garrett in October 2019. Again, I still wasn't like, vocal about it to the people I was when I did start BLM. Um, and then, so the last time I had spoken to Ames was when I went in and spoke to him in the lobby in October. And the next thing you know, on Christmas night, he Facebook messages me and asks if me and the kids were home because they have an overabundance of sweets in the office and we're racking their brains on which ones to give it to. And that just sent red flags to me real quick, and I'm like, no, we're
Weird.
good. Yeah, very. Honestly, I feel that was their first attempt. um, and it
Wow.
just gives me chills just thinking about it again.
That's
Um,
very, very weird.
right, right. So then
Is
he
this
pretty much,
when, can you tell them about the bar stuff, what they would say about you?
oh yeah, so a community member there whose parents owned a business that the cops frequented, uh, would this young lady would hear them saying things about myself and Mr. Youngblood, who actually was the only other Black member on the Black Lives Matter Potsdam, New York um, team. Uh, they being the police, would say things like, I keep talking about me. I keep dragging up the past. I keep dragging up the past. They want me to shut up. about
Mhm.
Garrett Phillips. And this was way before I started Black Lives Matter Potsdam, New York. So, yeah, from the very beginning of it, they do not want that case solved, and in my opinion, they will do whatever they can to keep anyone silent about it. Um, and they did try to.
Just got chills. I'm just like, oh, okay.
It's so much, but
Like I have like literally chills right now, talking about this, and it just makes me so mad. That's one thing on here. I hide no emotions. Like if I have to cry, if I have to scream, like don't mind me. Like I'm just like I'm just 100 like that on this platform, because how could you not be emotional when you know what I mean? Like,
right.
ooh, okay. Your son.
Yes, Terron Evans Jr.
When did he get? Okay, so he moved to Potsdam with you, right?
No, he moved to
Oh,
Potsdam in June 2020. So he had just got up there like 2 weeks after I started Black Lives Matter Potsdam, New York.
and he was Black Lives Matter also, right?
Yes, from the
That's
day he
right.
got there, he got out there and he protested throughout St.
Right.
Lawrence County with me.
That's right. I seen the pictures and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yes. Wow. When did he start dating? What's her name again?
Crystal
Chris.
Hamilton is her married name, apparently, and Kip is her birth name.
When did he start dating her?
So Crystal and Tehran met in September 2020, and that's when they started dating.
Let me just hold on 1 second, guys. We're trying to give you guys a backstory because this is deep. We brought up Garrett for a reason, because this might be more. This might be the whole reason why everything is happening to this. You know what I mean? Right. The reason why everything is happening right now. So if you're wondering why, what does Garrett have to do with what's going on with her son? A lot. It might have to do with a lot. So that's the reason why we're trying to give you guys a backstory of Garrett, that police officer, and how everything started. I just wanted to tell them because they probably like, what the, you know what I mean? Like, why does
Yeah,
Garrett have to do with, you know?
right.
Okay.
Right.
So go ahead. He started
Um,
dating her.
right. So
Um,
they met and started dating in September 2020. Um, in October 2020, Tarana came over to visit, and at that time he was seeing someone else. And I asked him what happened with him and Crystal. He said that B is crazy, and she told me she was going to kill me. And my words were, she'll be one dead bee.
I know
And
that's
to
right.
be honest with you, I feel like I let him down on that part, but I'm trying to do this right. It's not going to change the system if I end up in it. So it's tough. It's very, very tough. But so yeah, that was the
Wait,
last. Go ahead, on.
how long was they dating?
So as far as I know, they dated for about a month, if that.
Oh,
I don't, yeah, because when he came to me in October, that would have been about a month, you know, and they probably broke up, yeah, around the time he came over.
also she was buck wild buck. She was nuts. He was like, I got to get the hell away from her before this get even deeper. I
Right,
think they was together for like 5 months for some reason or something like that. So it was only a month.
right, that I know of. So I don't know how he ended up back in her house, deceased.
Oh, oh,
She
oh.
claims that they were together the whole time. I don't know if you read that big long thing she wrote about him. They were together all this time. She wrote this stuff like she actually knew my son,
He's a
and it's
weirdo.
like, come on now. Yeah.
I read some stuff that made me think, but I'm gonna get into that part. But yeah, we talked about it. Mama said about her saying the little hearts on the window when I go to
Yeah.
work. I said, that bitch is
Yep.
crazy. She's a fucking nut. But we're
Yep.
gonna get into that part. But so they was only dating for a month.
Right. That I
So
know of, a
she like
month.
fatal attraction.
That and plus her connections and what she does,
Right. Let's
with
get
law
into that.
enforcement.
She's an informer, right?
Yeah.
Allegedly. We gotta say I have to say allegedly because YouTube
Yes.
guidelines. So she's an
Well,
informer. Um,
yes.
Her son said a year, but I would base off mother's word more so. Okay,
What's
well,
that?
we'll get into the car. I don't know. Katie said her son said a year, but I would base off mother's words more so. Did he ever
Her.
say? Did he ever say he was dating her for a year?
Oh no.
No. But
No, not
we'll
that
get
I've
it.
ever seen.
There was a
He
month.
just,
She might have
yeah.
put that up there. She might have put that shit up there. The ex
Yeah,
girlfriend, because she has contact to his Facebook page.
right. That spee mentality page that none of his family or friends ever saw.
Right. And we're gonna get into that also. See, y'all, there's a lot of stuff y'all don't know, but we're gonna get into that also. So she is an informant,
Yeah.
allegedly. I have to say allegedly. She's an informant. Does she ever have like she had parties with the cops, like
Well, this is when Terron told me in September that he met this woman. He told me that he said, first of all, he started off, he was like, I met this woman, she nice and everything, but she keeps, buying me this and buying me that and giving me this and that. He was like, I'm not like that. I just want a good woman. I was like, listen, just be careful, And then he was like, yeah, and there's police that be over there hanging out and a judge and da da. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
you
deep.
know what I do here. You know what we've both been out here doing in these streets, and these cops don't like us. So please be careful. Stay away if you can. Just be careful.
Yeah.
And
Crystal's son, it wasn't your son that said a year, it was her son. When
mhm,
they questioned him, he said they were dating for a year. So
in
of course
his
he lied.
in
Yeah,
in his statement, and guess who took his statement?
that cop,
Deputy Sheriff John Jones.
that cop, that dirty
Yep,
crooked cop.
yep.
Okay. Huh.
And her son Brian also says, and I didn't find out about like the statements from the sheriffs and different things like that. I just got this stuff in March this year after putting in numerous FOIL requests and being denied. Okay, so a lot of the stuff that you're seeing, I just got in March this year.
Wow.
Um, yeah, but her son Brian says in his statement that John Jones took that he was awakened around 12 a.m. by hearing Crystal and Terron arguing. That was never mentioned in any statement of Crystal's. Her two different
Mm.
statements were to the Potsdam police and the sheriffs that she went to bed around 10:30 p.m. and Terron remained in the living room watching TV. But on the EMT's report, it says she had just gotten home from a night shift at work, and the last time she saw Terron was 11 p.m. because she had just gotten home that morning and found him unresponsive.
So three different stories, two different stories from her, probably plus probably a bunch more. And her
Right,
son said, I heard them arguing, which was probably true.
right.
But they didn't get their story right.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't probably went out and said, you know, wow, wow.
Yeah.
So he winds
Stuff
up
like that.
deceased in her bed in the middle, which was very strange, in the
Right.
middle of her bed. When I seen that picture,
Mm-hmm.
Dave was asleep. When I seen that picture, it looked like he was suffocated.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people have said, especially noticing and it took me a while to notice it, that there's, okay, you see two pillows at the headboard of the bed, one on each side. Then there's a third pillow pretty much almost in between her and Terron, right there on the side of the bed. Yeah. And I was actually looking at the video yesterday and, put it down to the slowest speed and, enlarged it and stuff. And you can literally see, like, I don't know if they're knee prints, arm prints, or what, in the pillow that's up above his head. And like right there on the sheet next to him. And there's a point where right as the cop comes in and she's standing like she's doing something over him, but she's literally not even touching him. But her phone is sitting there. And when she picks her phone up, I see this little black circle. And I realize she's missing a button on her pajamas. But the cop turns around, and when he turns back towards Terron, that button's gone and it's on her vanity. Okay. So yeah, she probably lost a button when she was helping to put Terron's body on the bed. So, it's so much. But I believe that whatever happened to Terron began the night before. I don't know if you saw the email that I shared. So on January 7th, 2021, a member of the Potsdam Police Reform Committee, which includes the police chief, the mayor, and the village supervisor, a committee member emailed all of us in one chat and said that, I recommend Jennifer Backstrom to lead these meetings, and to open them up to the public and this and that. She said, basically, due to the current leadership of this group, I will resign. I'm resigning if Jennifer's not going to do this. And I responded back to her, and I was like, unless Mark Murray, the police chief, admits to his biases and racism within himself and his department, and can make a public statement, this and that, no, I'm not going to be on this, and that was less than 24 hours before Terron's death that I was calling him out. And when I got this stuff in March, the USB that they provided me, there were 2 sound-only files on there, and the rest were photos. The very first sound-only is dated January 7th, 2021, 10:41 p.m. My son was never in their custody. There was no reason for them to ever have a file for my son. But they had one already 8+ hours before his death. So whatever happened started the night before. And I believe there's video, which Crystal put out in the community to a couple people. And that video, I believe, is in that file dated January 7th, 2021, that they put the audio-only interview of Crystal and her son on January 8th. That's when it was verbally dated by Detective McCarter. That interview is put into the file dated January 7th, 2021.
That's the file that we was talking about that you said that's missing. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I believe they planned and killed my son. They being the police.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Allegedly the police, her, and her son.
Yeah. And the district attorney, all of them are all part of it. Because in October 2020, October 19th, 2020, 2 things that day. First, I had messaged Lieutenant Michael Ames from the Potsdam Police Department, asking him, did he want to hand out candy with Black Lives Matter Potsdam, New York, to the kids in the community? I went and got over 250 bags to hand out, trying to, you know, work with this police reform stuff, build relationships in the community between uh, Black members and law enforcement, you know. And his response was, yeah, I'll be down with it. Now, also that day, I met with the St. Lawrence County District Attorney Gary Pasqua, demanding that he refer Garrett's case to the New York State Attorney General. And he said, I will run it by my chief ADA. His chief ADA resigned the same day Terron's life ended. Now, this same chief ADA was in office when Nicole Duvet was the district attorney when Garrett Phillips was murdered. And then when Mary Rain, I think it was either right before she got into office or right after, that same chief ADA, Jason Marks, resigned at that time. Why you keep resigning when this shit keeps, excuse my mouth, I'm sorry. When this
you
stuff
good.
keeps boiling up about Garrett, you know?
Right. A lot of cover up.
It
A
is.
lot of corruption.
The 5 responding officers, I only received 1 body cam video at the scene, and that was redacted. That was redacted down to 2 minutes and 36 seconds, even though them 2 Potsdam police officers were at the scene for almost an hour.
I was just about to talk about that too. Where is the rest of the footage?
And that cop whose body cam video I got, when I called internal affairs, and less than 2 weeks later, he resigned.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. The lead St. Lawrence County Sheriff's detective on Terron's case retired right after closing Terron's case.
What did they say was the cause of death?
They said that the cause of death was lethal doses of bupropion, Wellbutrin.
Which I'm supposed to take it, but I don't take it. But that's for depression, guys.
Yeah, and then so actually on the death certificate, it says the Wellbutrin. Then it says gabapentin, and then it says THC. Yeah, so there's people that are looking at this like, okay, first of all, the death certificate is not even done right. I don't understand all that, but yeah, it's
what?
Yeah, and I've posted all of that stuff.
Yeah, I seen so. Now, what did he have? Okay, this is really okay because I take gabapentin. And I'm supposed to take Wellbutrin, but I don't take it. But gabapentin is for your nerves. Wellbutrin is for depression. And if he was to, let's say, overdose, right? Because that's what they said, overdose or whatever. Right. He would have been vomiting. It would have. Right. It was something, and none of that.
Right. But on the toxicology report, I think it was the gabapentin. It said that was the what do you call it? The normal. Therapeutic range. So that means that would not even be a cause of death. So that shouldn't even be on the death certificate.
Right.
They
just was right.
And they switched it up. And I didn't realize that. Like okay, so the death certificate, everything goes down, but on the side, you got some stuff that goes this way, and it's amended like many times. It went from cause of death unknown to or blank to accident, then to suicide. Yeah.
Oh, so they so corrupt. They just don't give a damn about messing up messing up stuff because they know they probably get away with it. That's how corrupt and foul they are. And that's a shame. That's that shit is a shame.
And they've been getting away with this stuff for years.
That's what I'm saying. Like they so
foul
so
like that. We could put anything down. They're tight knit up there. You know what I mean? Most of the people up there were born and raised there, and all work together. Know each other. So It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like I was saying yesterday to someone, you know, in a way I can understand why the New York State,
Oh shit.
what
Sorry.
happened?
No, that I put
Um,
something. Go ahead. Go ahead.
in a way, I can understand why the New York State Attorney General would not want to touch this
Mm.
because it's even bigger than her.
Whew.
To do a real, true, honest, and fair, competent investigation of Terron's death would lead to the investigation of the Potsdam police, the St. Lawrence County sheriffs, district attorneys past and present, the state police, possibly even the district attorney here
Judges,
in the
judges too,
district
right?
attorney here, yes, and the district attorney here where I currently live in Onondaga County, because this district attorney went to St. Lawrence County to try to help Mary Rain indict Nick Hillary. So it's so, and then you got the coroners, you know what I'm saying, and the
Right.
hospital. So it's so much, you know, but they still need to do their job and
They
investigate.
do. They
The
do.
FBI needs to be involved too.
Right. Now, what's going on with that?
I'm getting no response.
The number
None.
that you asked me to call, the number that you gave me to call, the
Mhm. For the district attorney?
I left them a message. Of course, I didn't get a call back yet, but I did leave a message.
Thank you.
Um, hold on. Let me see, where is it? I also emailed New York State General so they could reopen. Remember what we talked about? I
Yes,
emailed them 3 times.
thank you.
I emailed them 3 times because on the thing it says you got to put your address,
Right.
your name. At
Hmm.
first I was like, but I said, you know what? I'm all good. I'm gonna put it, because I want to help,
Right.
So I
Thank
did
you.
email them 3 times, and then I called um, the New York State governor is who I called,
Right. Right. Okay.
and I left a message, and then I called back, and I got a
Hmm.
hold of somebody, and
Okay.
they said, well, let me transfer you. Let me
Hmm.
try to get you to speak to somebody.
Right.
But then I was on the phone for a while, waited, answer machine, and I left a message. So
Right.
we'll see what
Hmm.
happens. You got some more
That's
numbers. I'm ready to call, text it, send it to me, and
okay.
you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
so I have like, there's pretty much nobody in New York State that's in a position of power that can say they don't know about what's happened to Tehran, because I've emailed and called pretty much everybody that is in any position of power throughout New York State. And so one of the representatives for this area where I'm at actually responded back and was like, we've reached out, to the New York State governor, and she says that, or the New York State Attorney General, and she says that without a referral from the St. Lawrence County District Attorney or the New York State governor, that they won't take it uh, as a criminal matter. So the problem is reaching out to the same people that I was calling out, prior to my son's death,
Right,
reaching out to them to now hand my son's case over after I
right,
was getting
right.
on them about not handing over this little boy's
I see what you're
case.
saying. Right.
you know. And actually, Letitia James, I believe she came in right before Tehran's passing. So I was also contacting Governor Cuomo prior to, Tehran's passing. These are people that they've known about Garrett's case, they know about my son's case, and they don't want to do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to do anything with Garrett's, and they're definitely not going to do anything with mine, because it's just going to run. It's going to be a trickle effect, and so many people are involved.
I know we talked about Crump. I really don't rock with him like that, but he do get the name out there, like try to.
Yeah, he's told me that he does not handle cases like mine.
That's what I
I don't
heard.
know what part of mine he doesn't handle. Is it the BLM? Is it that it's not national news? One of the last signs that Tehran
Right.
held, the very last sign Tehran held was how many weren't filmed. And it's
Yes.
like unless and two guys did come to my house because I went to Albany and protested right after Tehran's death, and two people from the Attorney General's office did come to my house that specifically work with corrupt cops and said that if there is no audio, no video, or nobody willing to speak up and say, that these police did do this, that there's nothing they can do. And that's why we need to find out what the hell is in that file dated January 7th, 2021, 10:41 p.m.
You need that file.
Because that is going to tell a whole bunch right there.
How can
And,
we?
and I'm
Well,
sorry.
I talk. I wanna ask you something, but I'll ask it off live. Because
Okay.
sometimes you gotta watch what you say. Because they watch. They
Oh,
watch
yeah.
us.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't give too much. I'd rather talk to you off this. But go ahead.
So, in some of this, there was an interview where St. Lawrence County Sheriff Engel, who is running now for head sheriff of St. Lawrence County, and St. Lawrence County Sheriff McCarger, April 14th, I think it was April 13th or 14th, they went to Crystal's job to interview her.
Oh.
So, in April, I believe it was, I had put in my notice of claims to sue the county, the sheriffs, for not investigating my son's death. And apparently, someone who worked in there overheard the conversation and told his boss that he saw Crystal in the grocery store, and she told him that she had video of Tehran taking pills. So his boss told him, "We'll go across the street and tell the sheriff that." So that's how this guy got involved, as listed
Oh.
on someone as interviewed.
Okay. And then she said
Okay,
that she didn't have the video.
exactly.
I heard that
So they
part.
went to her job to ask her this. Okay, and I'm listening, and I'm hearing that obviously they had conversations that were never documented.
I noticed that
Because she
too.
says, yes, because she says, well, remember when we talked about, how big this can
Boom.
get? Is this like
Yep.
going to get any worse than it is? So that conversation was never documented. Why would you be having a conversation about how big this could get? You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? If this wasn't already planned, things like that. And then she says something about,
I heard that, y'all.
well,
Right?
yeah, another part she said, and remember that I told you I didn't put the surveillance cameras up until after she put those signs in my yard calling me a murderer.
I heard that.
So none of that conversation was documented,
This was a
but
setup.
she clearly lied about the surveillance thing, because when the Potsdam police arrive and they're knocking at her door, you can see the surveillance camera right outside her door,
And them act
and
like they don't know which. I was like,
what
come
door
on.
to go to.
I've been
I
to her house so many times. Come on.
Exactly. To be honest with you, I think that the officer who had the body cam on, because they clearly walked past her driveway, which there's the side door, and then the one with the body cam clearly walked past her front door, over to the side, almost to the side of her house. Okay. And
Mm.
in my opinion, he was looking for a signal, like, I'm ready, you
Ah,
know.
got
And
you.
then he turned around and started going, towards the driveway. But you
Got you.
can see, as soon as he gets to that window in the front of the house, Brian is standing right in the window. Okay. Like, why are you standing in the window? You're not at a door. You should be at a door. Like, come on. You know,
This
he's
they
literally standing there till they knock on the window.
this they set your son up. This whole thing was a setup. When
Yeah.
I heard her saying, the part that you just said, I said, ain't this some shit that they was talking about this? They set this whole
Yeah.
thing up. She basically said it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like without saying it, she said it.
Right.
You gotta like
Like
me
her
and you talked
posts.
about. You gotta listen to
And her posts too on Facebook. Something I just realized like last week, maybe the week before, is so on September 16th, 2020, this guy, Jerry Andrews Jr., posted something like, I'm just going to put it out there. If you think Potsdam's racist, this and that, you need to get out of here, blah, blah, blah. I
Right.
didn't know anything about this person, Jerry Andrews Jr., until somebody had forwarded me when Crystal said, I will be having a private memorial for Terron on Friday or whatever date it was. And Jerry Andrews Jr., she tagged him in that post. So I never knew anything about him until I saw that in that tag. And I got in touch with him and I asked him, like, how did you know my son? Did you go to this private memorial? And, he's like, yeah, I went to it. I took a friend and no, I didn't know him and blah, 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 just
Mm.
I had a bad attitude about it. And then I questioned him again and, I'm all kinds of retard and calling me all kinds of names, warning me not to come back there, just all kinds of stuff.
Whoa.
So anyways, I just realized, last week that this Jerry Andrews person put that post on Facebook on September 16th. Now that post that Crystal posted, even if I didn't do it, I probably did though, September 17th. Okay. Now, if Jerry put this thing out about pretty much what me and Terron was out there doing, protesting against this racism in Potsdam, New York, why are you inviting him to a private memorial of Terron? So there's so many people who are part of this.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, this Crystal girl, she's a lunatic. She's a lunatic. I'm just wanting y'all know because I read some stuff that she's in her fantasy world. Now, for her to only been dating your son a month, and I wanna the part that I read when she said he loves me so much. I know I want to find it, but just to sum a little bit up, where she said he loved me so much, he woke me up in the morning and he did my hair for me. He would put my shoes on and give me little kisses and draw little hearts out the window as I go to work. I said, this fucking girl is a lunatic.
Yeah.
She's obsessed and she's living in a fantasy world.
Right.
I didn't know your son and I don't know y'all, but her saying that, it sounded kind of weird.
Right.
He would draw little hearts out the window as I'm going to work. Girl.
Yeah. Pick her nose. Just all kinds of stuff. Argue with her not to go out in the cold. And it was all about everything that he did, her fantasy of what she wanted him to be like, And the thing is, when Terron told me about Crystal, and I started asking people in the community,
a little off.
With my heart, I almost felt sorry for this woman. Okay.
Yeah, you said
because nobody had not anything nice to say about this woman, including Lieutenant Michael Ames. He didn't say anything. He just shook his head when I asked him about her. Okay. But there are people in St. Lawrence County who she affected 10, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, who when just mentioning her name, they cried.
Whoa.
Because of some just foul, crazy shit she did to them throughout the years.
Now, she is a drug dealer, y'all.
Yes.
And she sounds a little lunatic. Now, to me, it sounds like she has some mental illness.
Yeah, definitely.
Because for her to
she was on one of those bottles of Wellbutrin was hers.
Right, that's right.
She's claiming he takes.
Right. And she has been arrested multiple times because in the audio, the cops said, "Oh, we arrested her before."
Right, but so in the first audio or the first video when they came to give me the death notice, and I was like, Crystal Kipp, the drug dealer, the one that all of you know, and that officer said, "I'm not aware of her. I don't know her." But when they came for the interview, what they call an interview, and they didn't interview me, they talked to me about the autopsy. Okay. Oh, you'll get a fair and honest autopsy here and blah, 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 you know? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But in that video, they clearly say we're very familiar with her. We know
Yep.
her very well.
Yep. We
And
arrested her a few times.
yes, and something I noticed about the one who came to give me the death notice, and may not mean anything to some people, but you're on a death notice. Who are you texting? Who are you receiving multiple texts from while you're on the porch waiting for me to come out? Because you can clearly hear his phone dinging, 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 and he takes it out and he's texting.
Wow. And that's so
Yeah,
rude. They
yeah.
were
And
so
I'm just
rude.
like, who, you know,
Right. They were
did you
so
make it there
rude.
yet? You know, what's going on? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's so much. They're still denying to give me the 911 call. I supposedly have to have the okay from a judge up there to get that. Um, they're claiming that Deputy Sheriff John Jones, McCarger, nor who was it? O'Connell, I believe it was one of them. Anyways, the three sheriffs that showed up at the scene, there's no body cam video from any of them. So basically, they gave me exactly everything they wanted me to have, wanted
Right.
me to see. You know, them uh, with no urgency to save my son, them not even doing it right if they were to be trying to give him CPR or anything like that. They totally weren't doing any of that
They
right.
sure wasn't.
They wanted me to see him dead, you know, and clearly he was placed on the bed. Um, you know, they wanted me to see, and this is the thing, when I went in March to see the county attorney who gave me the USB with the interviews of Crystal and her son and photos, uh, I was told prior to getting there that he could not release any body cam videos to me, but I could view them in his office.
Hmm.
Those body cam videos that he was talking about
Mhm.
were the death notification and them coming to my house to talk to me about the autopsy, pretty much. Okay. They started to play that, the death notification, and I was like, nope, I don't want to see that right now. Okay.
Right.
In my mind, first of all, I didn't want to relive that, you know, again. And then I wasn't going to let him see or have the joy of seeing me
Right.
broken down, you
Right.
know. Um, but he took that and tried to say that I told him I didn't want the videos at all. So they removed them from the USB that they gave me. And when I realized that they weren't on there, and I kept, you know, putting out there, okay, we need to contact him and release this stuff, you know, release it, release it, release it. And then finally he was like, well, I've been receiving numerous requests to release this and this, but you said you didn't want it. That's why. And so then he finally released it to me.
Wow. It's something. It's something. Wow. Something else, boy. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's
Kathy
just so
B.
much to it.
Kathy B says, these people will be an informant to lower or erase their sentences. Yes.
Exactly. And just
Yes.
like you said, Crystal had been arrested numerous times. There was like a group of people that were helping me, and they kind of went and looked at her criminal background and everything. And pretty much she became an informant around 2017, I believe it was. Um,
Mm,
and pretty much everything is sealed. Like you can't see anything after that. And like they said, oh, we've arrested her many times. And you know what Michael Ames had the nerve to say? Because from the day that I met with the St. Lawrence County District Attorney, which was the same day that I messaged Michael Ames about inviting him to hand out candy, October 19th, 2020, that was the last time he spoke to me. Okay, until
mm.
after my son's death, when I had to reach out to him and say, do you know about my son? And he's like, yeah, sorry for your loss. Sad.
Wow.
Now, for someone who befriended me, who literally came to my house and sat in my yard with me, my grandkids, my son, my
Right.
mom, my dad, chit chatting, you know, now all of a sudden you have nothing to say. And he did make it clear to me that Me doing what I was doing with Black Lives Matter, Potsdam, New York, was causing more trouble than any good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Katie said, I caught that talking about the ex girlfriend. The things that get me is she claims Terron was her love, her person. Yes, she has no she has no pictures of
Remorse.
him, like remember pictures of him or
Hmm.
her Facebook or anything. Red flag on her everywhere.
Exactly. Exactly.
Unfortunately, they
And
feel they have power and can do whatever because of their title. But
right.
if they didn't have that title, they would be just like us. It makes me sick, Katie said.
That's so true.
It's true. Because what about if there were if these were if it happened to their damn kids or their
Right.
wife or their niece? I
Right.
always say that, but then I think about goddamn would they even care though?
Exactly.
Would they even care?
Nope. It's about positions, power, and profit. That's all it's about. It's not about the people.
Yeah, yeah,
They don't
because I
care.
be saying because I used to say, well, what about if they were kids, if there was their family and stuff. But then lately, hearing this and seeing a lot of things, as I
Right.
started doing these cases, I'd be like, shit, would they even care if it was their damn kids or their mama or
Right.
their sister?
Exactly.
It's about power.
And uh, so something else okay, so
Wow.
about the her saying, Teron was the love of her life, this and that. So somebody had forwarded me a Facebook post that Crystal had put up. And this was 2 days after what was supposed to be Teron's 27th birthday. Posted in a relationship with
Mm,
I can't think of his name right this moment.
some guy.
And then he also posted that he was in a relationship with Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
So I had contacted him, and he was like, "Oh, they, we're in a relationship, this and that," but he didn't know Teron. So probably within the last, it probably was about 6 months ago, maybe a little bit more. I decided, okay, I'm going to go back through that post and look and see if anybody posted anything. So I noticed on there that someone said, "I'll inbox you." And I'm like,
Mm.
okay, well, must be something they don't want anybody else to see or hear or whatever. So I contacted her, and she ended up calling me about a half hour later, and it was her nephew that made that post saying he was in a relationship with Crystal. And he told her that the only reason that he posted that was to get at the people that were after Crystal about Tehran off of her back, to protect her, because everybody up there supposedly knows how he rolls. Um, okay, so what do you need protection for if you did nothing? You
Mm.
know? And so I realized that it was like the day after Tehran's death, we all showed up at Crystal's house. And this man came out. And she was like, no, babe, come back in the house, come back in the house. And so I messaged his aunt again.
Mm.
Yeah, I messaged his aunt again and was like, listen, can you ask him, because he was totally ignoring me by then, can you ask him, was he at her house the day after Tehran died? And his aunt, oh, I absolutely cannot and will not ask him nothing else, blah, 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 blah. If you want to go after anybody, go after Crystal because she knows what happened. Go after the police and the DA because they're covering it up. And yeah, so,
She said that.
oh, yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Even the one lady that told me about what the police were saying at the little cop shop, she said, there's state troopers, state police that even believe you, but they're afraid of retaliation. And the only reason I was ever calling out the state police prior to Tehran's death is because I asked the district attorney, even before sitting down meeting with him, right, following a meeting on police reform. We just got out the meeting, and I asked him, where are the leads to Garrett, anything for Garrett Phillip? Where are they supposed to go? And he said, to the police, Potsdam police. I said, why would you have them go to the Potsdam police when you already know they framed Nick Hillary and they're always going to say that Nick Hillary did it? Okay. I said, you need independent investigators. He said, my independent investigators are the state police. And I said, they can't be your independent investigators because they were there at the scene going through everything with y'all the day Garrett was murdered. So that's the only reason I was calling them out, you
Right.
know. But and it's crazy. So Gary Snell is a New York State trooper. Okay, he has very close ties with Garrett Phillips' family. Lives
Mm,
in the neighborhood, all of that. Okay. On that post that Crystal made with that all that stuff about Terron, there's a comment from a lady named Cindy Snell. Oh, you memorized him more better than anybody else could, and this and that and blah blah blah. So that's what makes me feel, oh, they have part in this too, the state police,
mm.
somewhere along the line.
This is deep. This is like we said. This is deeper than deep. It's like a treasure, like a whole. Wow.
There's no way the district attorney is just going to be like, she's not even going to be able to handle this. This goes so far beyond, you know.
What can
it's
we
so
do
much. Whew.
as a
First,
community? As you know, what Brooklyn Squad? I'm gonna keep it real with my channel. What can Brooklyn Squad do
mhm.
for you?
So continuing to share Tehran's story, definitely. Calling and emailing the St. Lawrence County District Attorney Gary Pasqua, and you can go on the St. Lawrence County website for his phone
Mhm.
number, email, all that.
Okay, good.
Um, Calling and emailing the New York State Governor, um, Kathy Hochul. They can go on the New York State Governor website to email and call. Call and email the New York State Attorney General, Letitia James. They can go on our website for both of those things. At this point, call and email the FBI. Okay.
Mm.
Um, Call and email the Human Rights Department. This is even beyond civil rights anymore, and it has been for a long time. This is human rights. They are just taking away everything, as human beings, period. Um, it Tehran's case needs to be investigated. I have that link tree there's a petition on it addressed to the Attorney General, the Governor, FBI, all of them. I need that to be signed. There is a GoFundMe for counsel, an investigator. What I was told is I need a great team of lawyers and investigators. I also need a second autopsy. I'm hoping with
Mhm.
what I've been provided with, I'm hoping that that is enough to prove everything right there. I pray I don't have to dig my son back up, you know.
Mm.
But it's clear from pretty much everything that I put out there for everybody to see that it all points away from suicide and points to something more than, what they're saying happened to Tehran, and that many people are involved. So the biggest thing is it. We need his death, to be investigated. You know, they didn't take Tehran's phone. They didn't take Crystal's phone. They didn't take Brian's phone. They absolutely did not investigate. And there was
They
a
should
part
have.
in
Very sloppy because they was involved. That's why.
right,
Because they
right,
knew what happened. Yeah.
right. Yes. So it's just, and she refused to give me any of his belongings. She gave us absolutely nothing, you know. And it's sad that they didn't investigate, like I keep saying, because it was a plan, and
Right.
they executed it.
I'm so sorry.
Just like even with Garrett Phillips, one of the theories is that because there was a vote coming up to dissolve the Potsdam police, and that vote was to come up less than, well, maybe a couple days more than a week after Garrett's murder. And so, of course, they voted to keep the Potsdam police. A lot of people believe Nick Hillary was set up. And unfortunately, it's hard for me to believe that a mother would do that, you know, um,
Happens though.
have any involvement like that with, for their own child. But who knows? The Potsdam police stayed. They pretty much were proven that they were needed, because of Garrett's case. And right after that vote, I believe it was, is when the lead investigator in Garrett's case was promoted to police chief. And did you see the documentary? It's
Not
a
yet.
two-part. Yeah, you're gonna
Of,
be very upset when you see that.
of the little boy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
watch it today. Actually,
yeah.
I'm gonna watch it
It's a two-part documentary called "Who Killed Garrett Phillips." So, and it's on it's an HBO documentary. You can watch it on YouTube for free.
today.
But
Okay.
besides just that, I mean, just Google his name or Nick Hillary's name, and there's so much stuff.
Wow.
And on a lot of them, the videos and stuff, I commented back in October 2019, sharing that petition for Garrett Phillips.
I want to do a live on him too. I mean, you practically did the live already on him just now.
And like
What's
a
his
lot of
last?
people are like, stop thinking and talking about Garrett. It's about your son now. Yes, it's about my son, but you know what? My son would be here had I not been trying to help get justice for this little boy and the black man they framed for it. You
Mm.
know, so
People say that
it's
to
all
you.
tied together
Why people say stuff like that? Like, see, people
because
so
they don't
selfish.
want
Selfish, I should say. I'm be.
right. And then I don't know if you noticed too, when they came to do the supposed interview of me, there were 4 officers, all St. Lawrence County sheriffs. So Detective Karinji introduced himself, he introduced O'Connell, and he introduced McCarger. But he did not introduce Deputy Sheriff John Jones that was standing there with a mask on at
That's
all. And
interesting.
Jones stayed off camera.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I put down below, guys, the phone numbers and the hold on, y'all. The state governor phone number. Please call, email them, demand that we want to for them to reopen this case. The phone
Right.
number is there, okay, guys? And also, Gary's phone number is also there, also. So let's get on this. I've emailed them, I've left numbers. You can do it too.
Please,
Email,
please
phone
do.
numbers. Please, please, please. Let's help her.
And
Twitter,
my thing is,
Instagram, also posts. If you
right.
see her videos out there, also, and also she has a YouTube channel. I also subscribe to your
Yes.
YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Um, if you
Yes.
can, somebody put her link down below, also, or put your link down below if you can, or somebody put her link down
Okay.
below. Subscribe to her YouTube channel. Also, if you see her post, repost. If you see
Please.
her video, don't just scroll down and keep going. Repost it.
Please. Yes.
Why not? I mean, we are trying to help. We do. I mean, she needs help, and we want to help.
Yes.
I want to help.
And the thing is too, that after I, learned how to do TikTok and, started putting Terron's story out there, you know, th- there are so many people who were involved with Black Lives Matter who ended up dead and it was labeled suicides. And
Yup.
this is all between June 2020 and thereafter. Um,
just
So
like oh, I want to I messed up when remember I told you before, me and names get all weird. I don't say names right, but
that's
um
okay.
um the young man, his mother was Black Lives Matter. I interviewed her.
Oh
Remember I
yeah.
was telling you,
Yep,
and
in the backyard, yes.
his pants were pulled down,
Yep.
hang, cops laughing, and
Yep.
I mean the she was Black Lives Matter too, and when she was on here, the she had to stop for a minute because she just was like so broken, and she's just so strong, but crying, and it was just like so painful, and she's still out there like you fighting,
Mhm.
still doing Black Lives Matter, still
Right.
doing activists, still doing organizations. And they had the nerve to look at her son, and they were talking, they try to say suicide, of course.
Right.
They was laughing.
Right.
The fucking cops. She caught them laughing as her son has his pants down, hanging from her fucking tree.
They need to. They've got to be held accountable.
Excuse my language.
You know, it's so much. It would. I'm not saying it would be right, but there's many other ways to seek justice that could have been much quicker. But the whole point is to change this shit so that it doesn't keep happening, and that's why we keep going. It's for justice, accountability for our own, but it's for the future to change this so that our grandkids and great grandkids and so forth do not have to keep going through this shit and going through the same fight. Not to say it's ever going to be completely gone, but if we can make the fight a little less for each generation, it's going to make this place better for all of us.
I be saying to even like I talk to my fiance a lot and stuff. He don't know nothing about he's not into all this stuff, but I be like, when is this gonna stop? When is this gonna end? Never, pop. As somebody told me never, but I always got hope.
Right,
I have a good spiritual connection with my higher power. God moved mountains. You know,
right.
I hate when that thing cutting off like that. This damn laptop is new, and I don't know how to. It
Been
keeps
learning
like
it.
yeah, because it keeps like the light will go off, and I gotta keep touching a
Oh
little bit
yeah.
so I don't know how to, but I be like,
Okay.
when this is gonna stop? Like, when is this gonna like? What can we do in the community? Like, I live upstate New
See, I'm
York. I don't
feeling.
see a lot of crazy stuff up here like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
but I'm not too close to Newburgh,
Hmm.
and there's a
Okay.
lot of shooting and crazy stuff there.
Right.
But I feel like I want to do more. I know I do. I do the best that I could from the internet side, and like
Right.
I post, I do this. Every time I do a case with a parent, I'm gonna always reach out to the parent and check on them. I've been doing
Right.
that for 2 years now since I've been doing cases. But I feel like I want to be foot out there though, like you are.
And that's another thing that we need too is,
How do
we
I
have.
do that? How do I do that? What do I do?
Well, besides everything else that I just mentioned, and that's pretty much the stuff that other parents looking for justice too need is call those same people in their states. You know what I'm saying? But oh, give me a second. I just lost my train of thought. Lord
I'm
Jesus.
sorry.
No, no, that's okay. Um, oh man, what were you just saying? I'm sorry.
Foot out there. I want to be out there
Oh,
with you guys.
that's right. Physical support is so important. Now, I'm not sure if we talked about this, but one of the things that I get backlash about a lot is why don't you ask Black Lives Matter to help you? They got all this money and they did this and they did that, blah, blah,
I
blah.
saw that.
So the thing with me is I reached out to them prior to my son's death and after my son's death. Never for anything financial. It was, please just come stand with us, come support us. We need your help in this town that really, in this whole uh, county, it's like they could care less about Black people, you
Right.
know? And I never, ever got a response for them before or after. Never, you know? Physical support is very important because guess what the Potsdam police are doing? Every time we're going there protesting, they're laughing at us. They are literally laughing at us through their windows. We're watching them laugh at us, you know, because what they're seeing is a group of 5 to maybe 10 people. And in their eyes, no, Black lives
Right.
don't matter. Look, you have nobody hardly, you know. In my opinion, everybody who's there is meant to be there and they showed up because they care, you know, they're supposed to be there. But in the police's eyes, 10 people out of the whole freaking community, you know, that's no problem for them. They can handle that, you know. Support, physical support is very important.
Like even going out there putting out flyers
Right.
or, something like because I mean, I do the internet thing, and and believe me, that's a lot right there. The stuff that I
Mhm.
do, but I feel like I want to be out. Like I want to be decked on.
Mhm.
Make some flyers, and
Right.
every case that I'm doing, make some flyers and just put it out there.
Right.
You know, I
Definitely.
have a vehicle, but a lot of times, my fiance, he's working and stuff. But shit, like I lost enough weight. I could walk, baby. Okay. I don't gotta huff and puff
Awesome.
no more when I walk a little bit. So
That's
when
good.
you
That's
heavy,
good.
when you heavy stuff, you be like,
I know. That's how I
I
am
lost,
now.
I lost 70 pounds. I could walk a little bit, but
Wow, good for you.
yeah,
Nice.
I'm diabetic
Wow.
and stuff. So, but I
But
was thinking about that.
that's also something that, thinking about it, that's something that can help because I try to do that, out of my own pocket is buying flyers and signs and different things like that. If if people want to help, just print off some flyers,
Right.
and, you know, share them throughout their community or send them to me because I do go back to Potsdam and I'd like to keep putting them up,
Okay.
throughout the community. Um, that is that would help.
Yeah, flyers, stuff like that too. You know what I mean? So, like, shit, 'cause I'm like, I make phone calls and I put the word out and this and that, but I feel like I want to do more. Like, I want to be, you know, out there. I wanna do more. I wanna maybe put down one of my friends, Cheryl Nation, we was talking about, like, I live like by all the stores, by like ShopRite,
Mhm,
Walmart, Audis, maybe putting like a desk right there
mhm.
and just get flyers of every case that I'm working, and just
Right,
I could
right,
do that,
right,
like, make little buttons, or with with like your son and this person, something,
right.
something, or
Yes, that'd be
that's
nice.
because I'm like right across the street from ShopRite, for God's sake.
Okay.
you know, uh,
Yes.
Walgreens is right next door to me. Aldi's is right here.
Right. Okay.
I could get a little folding table, and you know, so that's
Right.
was something that I thought too, and I think that would be a good idea to spread the word.
Right.
Because I looked up where Postan and I live.
Hmm.
That's 5 hours away. So I was
Yeah.
like, my man was like, girl. But I could do something where I'm at so I could spread the word also here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I bet you
Yes.
people don't know a damn thing around here,
Right.
what's going on. And
Right.
that way, Pastan know, and where I live, they would know too. And then
Right.
the other area close to where I live, they would know too.
Right.
So that's something
And
I'm going to
that's the
start
thing.
doing.
There'll probably be if
Until I could
Garrett.
get Dave to drive me to Potsdam,
Right.
to meet you up, and But for now, I can
Yes.
do that.
Yes. Definitely. If Nick Hillary's name is mentioned, people down that way probably will know because his
Mm,
lawyer that is in the documentary, they were best friends. And like actually now they have a program, I think it's called BK 456 for the Fourth, Fifth, and Sixth Amendments, and they pretty much go around to schools and they teach the students about those, you know, those there that they really need to know if encountering anything with the law, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So Nick Hillary and Manai Tafari, they are pretty well known down there, and especially a lot of people know about that case. So if his
Right.
name is mentioned, people
People
might
were
already
like,
know.
yeah, people were like, oh wow, I heard about that. So
Right.
gotcha. Okay, so that's
Yeah. Even
that's
like.
definitely something I want to talk more to you about off camera and stuff like that, and then maybe you can give me some advice on how do I set that up, and
Mhm. Right.
because it would be my first time doing it, and I
Hmm.
always wanted to fight more for the victims. You know what I
Right.
mean? Besides what I'm doing now, of course I'm gonna always do this, but I want to just be foot on. Like
Right.
845 Hope Alive. I don't know if you ever heard about
Mhm.
them.
No.
You never okay, so Hope Alive 845, their organization, of course, up here, right? But they're foot on, like they're out there. They're looking for the victims out there in the woods, out there and
Mm.
out there.
Wow.
Yeah, like they're
Goodness.
they're foot on. And
Hmm.
they're pretty big. We're a pretty big organization. I'll talk to you about them too also.
Okay.
Domingo. Actually, I heard about him because I gave him one of the cases um, that I was trying to help a mother, and then
Hmm.
he gave me one of his. Fortunately, her son wind up being killed. You know, but his friend who was a detective, a cop or sheriff, his daughter Shannon
Hmm.
was been missing for 5 years.
Oh wow.
I interviewed him actually. And that's how I know about, yeah. And she's still missing. And he's a sheriff. He's really cool, black guy. And he said, they wanted me to sit on my hands when my child is
Hmm.
missing. And
Right.
that's how I found out you never wait 24 hours like they tell you.
Right. Oh no.
He said,
Mm-mm.
no, you never wait 24 hours.
No.
Shannon
Mm-mm.
Harris, matter of fact, that's her name.
That name sounds so familiar.
Yeah,
Really
she had
does.
like the board thing out and everything out. Like it's really big. Like, yeah, she's still missing. I'm gonna send you her thing. So you'll probably be like, oh my
Wow.
God, I seen her. I seen
Hmm.
her thing before.
Right.
I'm gonna show you. Yeah, and that's how I found out about, and yeah. And he's a sheriff and his daughter's still missing.
Mm-hmm.
Went to a party, met up with someone, never was found again. They found her car and that was it.
Right.
5 years
Wow.
now. So that's another
Yeah, I
organization
want to
also,
find.
Hope Alive. But um,
Yeah, definitely send that link.
yeah,
Connect with them.
um, but yeah, I'll talk to you more about that off here
Okay.
about them. But yeah, but guys, please, please, if you could email, make phone calls, take the suggestions that she's asking. She needs the help, um, and most of all, pray. I
Right.
mean, I don't know what your spirituality is or anything, but whatever
Go
your
with
higher
God.
power. Yeah, I mean, for me, prayer works.
Right.
And I'm gonna keep you in my prayers, and I'm gonna
Thank
help you
you.
fight, and I'm gonna still reach out to you, and we're still gonna talk.
Thank you.
Do you want to say anything else before we end it?
Um, I just want to say these people have to be held accountable. They've
Yes.
got to be, and I'm not afraid.
No, that's right.
I am not afraid to hold them accountable. And I did meet Nick Hillary and his lawyer in June last year for the first time in Albany at his civil rights trial. And, like in which they found the Potsdam police not guilty. They found in favor of them. Um, but like they said, sometimes the beginning of justice is publicly holding them accountable, letting the world know about exposing them. Let the world know, and that is the beginning of it sometimes,
Yeah,
Um,
it's true. That's how
you
I
know,
feel sometimes too, like exposing them, just letting the world know. You know what I mean? And that's what I be saying on here. We will expose your bug. Like, I don't have a problem with exposing people. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Because I feel like you're doing some grimy, hateful. Like you're supposed to be the people that we supposed to. You're supposed to protect us.
right,
We're supposed to feel safe,
right,
but y'all killing us,
yeah,
harming us. We are afraid. People are afraid of them, and that's not supposed to be. We're supposed to feel safe. When y'all
right,
pull us over, people are fucking still driving, running. Instead of feeling safe, just want to like, let me just see what the cop want. You know what I'm saying? Let me
right,
just pull over. We are fearful for our life. And I'm not gonna front because my man looked like a white boy, but he Puerto Rican and the color of me. And I'd be like, damn, I might be, under the, you know, God forbid. I'd be like, Dave, just drive normal because look at you, look at me.
exactly. It could be any of us
Any of
at any
any of
moment,
us, any of us, like they'll
and
look at me and won't even know that I got half white in me
right,
in Cherokee, but they'll
mhm,
just look at me because
right, exactly.
it's a
That's what I was
shame,
told up
man.
there
It's
in
a shame.
Potsdam. Me and my granddaughter, we would be handing out like flyers for different events and stuff up there. And for instance, one day this older white man, he uh he started saying some pretty rude stuff, and
Hmm.
I was like, "Well, I'm black and white anyways." He was like, "So what? You're still a nigger."
Whoa.
Like, yeah, they bold, very bold, um, with it. So, and
Ooh.
that's another thing too. So on that private memorial stand that was
Josh.
at Crystal's house that she had
Yeah.
of Tehran,
Go ahead. I'm gonna
um,
charge your laptop. Go ahead, cause it's got.
okay,
Go ahead.
there, I don't know if you saw them two objects, but there's a little
Yes.
like a poop emoji thing, but
Let
it
me show
has
you.
big red lips, and right behind it is a gorilla.
Girl.
Yeah, so
Show them right now.
I'm like, okay, they talk about all this has nothing to do with race and blah blah blah. Yeah, it does. Yep, yep. You can't see it too good. Oh, there you go.
There
Yep.
you go.
And right behind that poop emoji is a little gorilla figure. That's some racist shit to be on the memorial stand of a black man.
Woo. Tell me about it. And oh, that was at the memorial
Yeah, the private memorial that
that
Crystal
she
had
had.
for Tehran,
Oh
that
shit.
she invited no family or friends to of Tehran's.
Oh whoa.
Yeah, yeah. And she actually did that on the same day that I was burying my son here in Syracuse. Yeah,
And let's not forget, even if I didn't do it, they'd be like, "You did it." Probably did though.
yeah,
So
yeah,
we are looking with a psychopath, narcissist,
yeah.
obsession, obsession or whatever you want to call it. The girl crazy, she nuts, okay? Murderer, allegedly, because of YouTube. With that, thank you everyone for joining.
Yes. Thank you very much, and thank
Thank
you
you.
for having me on.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And I also have a podcast, and the link is down below. Every case I do, it goes on my podcast. I don't promote that enough. A lot of people they didn't even know about it. Like nobody really knows, but I've had it for like almost 2 years now. But I
Okay.
did put him on a podcast as well. but I want to do another one on him. So check the podcast out, guys, please. And please show her love and also subscribe to her YouTube channel as well.
Yes.
And thank you,
Um,
everyone.
and I have, well, geez, like 3, 4 different TikToks, plus my Jen Thomas Bidwell Facebook page, where the link tree is at, and pretty
Can
much
you
I
put that down
posted.
below? Can you?
Well, yeah, I'll have to go copy the link and then I can come back down and
Okay.
put it for
Yeah.
you.
All right. So
Um,
yeah, she'll
yeah,
put all that
so
information down below, guys, and make sure y'all
yeah,
go and subscribe, follow, and support, and also the group that she has. Also, we're gonna put
yes,
all that stuff
it's
below
the
because
one
she
that
has
was
a
just,
group for him too. I should have
yes,
remembered. I had got out the shower and I was trying to do everything, like trying to type the thing and send you the link real quick. I forgot
yeah,
to put the group stuff,
okay,
but we're gonna put
that's
it
all
though.
right.
We're gonna put it down below. Okay, guys. So I love you, Brooklyn Squad. Thank you for joining. Everyone have a blessed Sunday.
Thank you, you too.
And like I always say, be careful for your surroundings and love yourself because you're
And
worth it.
that's one other thing I wanted to say too,
Mhm.
is, and I've put this out there publicly before, and if anything happens to me, it's not because I unalived myself or ran away or anything like that. So just to let you know, okay?
That's important. You're the first person that I've heard ever, said that. That's really important. That's oh God, I'm sorry. That's really important to say,
Yeah,
especially in a situation like this.
right.
So I'm glad you said that. Yeah, I hear that, right? Okay. Keep you in prayer. I'm gonna talk to you
Thank
later
you. All
though.
right.
Okay.
Thank you all.
All
Have a
right.
good day.
Thank you. Bye bye. Th-
Bye.
Thank you. Okay. All right, Brooklyn Squad. Thank y'all for joining. Everyone have a blessed Sunday. My thing is about to die off now, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down. Um, please hit the thumbs up for me, guys, and I hope y'all enjoy this live. I'm sorry that it was very I just told y'all about it. We didn't know it till this morning, really, when I woke up. So that's why. But yeah, I said I wanted to definitely get her on here because I thought it was very important for her to tell her story of what happened to her king, her son. Her son is amazing. And let's not forget, he went back to school and got his GED. Okay? He went back to school and got his GED. And that inspired me because that's what I'm doing now. And when she told me that, I was like, yes, he went back to school, baby, and got his diploma. So, he was very smart, intelligent. He loved music and he loved his family. And yes, she do have other siblings. He does have other siblings. She does have other kids. And of course, we'll bring her back and we'll talk some more about how he was and her other children and how they feel about it and stuff like that. So we're going to do another part on that. But I love you guys, Brooklyn Squad, and have a blessed Sunday. And remember to love yourself. And if nobody told you they love you today, I do. I truly do. Mwah. Blessed ones. Peace. You're welcome, Kathy B. Don't forget, share this video for me, guys, please. Please share this video. TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. Thank you.